Hello, today we are back to doing 50 things, except this time it's 50 things better than Genshin over Wuwa. This time around, the list was definitely more difficult to do compared to the Wuthering Waves one, mostly because of how much better quality of life is in that game compared to Genshin. But if you haven't seen 50 things Wuwa has over Genshin, it'll be in the description. And just as a reminder, these picks are supposed to be as objective as possible. Starting with number 1, you can have 4 characters in a party, which makes it so that you can have more variety in your team comps. Number 2, co-op can technically be better if it's a group of 2 or 3 because players there can have access to 2 characters. Next for number 3, we have the Genius Invocation TCG, a card game that Genshin released, which I'm pretty sure is very niche if you like it or not. And to be frank, it's not even a TCG because you'll be able to trade cards around because that's in the name. It's definitely more of a CCG or a collectible card game like Hearthstone and the like. Don't know why we're lying out here. At least make it so that you can trade for special cards that you can only get from certain NPCs. And number 4, there's a repertoire of myriad melodies, aka the permanent rhythm game mode that you can play in Genshin. It's pretty okay, at least there's a lot of songs in its list, but to me, it's not my favorite minigame that Genshin has, like Wind Trace before they made it into DBD, or the 2.2 Labyrinth Warriors event that they made way back then that was basically just a beta for the simulated universe that released in HSR 2 years later. For number 5 is the Serenitea Pot, where you can build to your heart's desire with assets from Genshin Impact. And at 6, 7, 8, and 9, you can get Transient Resident, aka extra stamina from the shop in there, as well as a lot of other items. You can also catch animals with the Omni Ubiquity Net to place them in the Serenitea Pot. You can hit trees for wood, which, I don't know, maybe someone in the world gets enjoyment out of hitting trees. And also you can talk to your characters in the Serenitea Pot, so there's that, I suppose. At number 10 and 11, you can have farms you can plant stuff in to get items. And with the seed dispensary gadget, an item I don't think I have ever used until now, you can get seeds of a certain plant if you gather it with the seed dispensary as the current gadget. Next for 12, 13, and 14, you can fish in Genshin, which is like, you know. But you can obtain free 4-star weapons from fishing, which 2 out of 3 of them are pretty good. Also, technically you can get character/weapon mats from fishing, but it only applies to 5 characters, which are Charlotte, Chevreuse, Emily, Lynette, and Risley, as well as 9 other weapons that need it. Number 15, Genshin only requires you to fully complete a 4-piece set instead of 5, which is the one thing Genshin actually has over Wuwa that isn't weird or niche at all. And number 16, you have access to the Artifact Transmuter gadget, an item that lets you create artifacts with 1 main stat of your choice as well as 2 substats that you want, which is also pretty useful compared to the other stuff, but it costs sanctifying elixirs to use, which is pretty rare to be honest, because typically you can only get 1 of them per version, aka 1.5 months, and it costs 3 for a circlet you'd want and 4 for a goblet. And for those who don't know, the goblet is the one with elemental damage %, and the circlet has crit on it. Lastly, it has another limitation where you can only get 1 artifact from an artifact set once per version, so that's fun. Number 17, Genshin also has echoes. Well, something that's also called echoes but refers to a particle that trails behind characters after completing their envisaged echoes in the imaginary theater. At 18, you can have skins for your gliders. For 19, you can do expeditions to get materials and money. At number 20 and 21, Genshin is available on Xbox, PS4, and PS5, while Wuwa is only available on PS5. As well, for number 22, Genshin's system requirements are lower than those of Wuwa's, with Genshin's minimum being Nvidia 1030 and its recommended being 1060, while Wuthering Waves has it so that its minimum is 1060 while its recommended is 2060. At 23, the Red Feather Fan gadget increases your gliding speed by 30% for 30 seconds. 24, the Parametric Transformer gadget lets you exchange stuff you collect in the world for stuff you use to level up your characters or weapons. For 25, you can obtain a D20 in the game, so there's that. You can use it for all your D20 needs. Number 26 and 27 has both the Wind Catcher gadget and the Wind Powered Wind Generator gadget. And what the Wind Catcher does is that it creates an updraft below you so you can glide upwards. And the Wind Powered Wind Generator lets you create an updraft while you're in the air, and they're both pretty useful for cheesing puzzles and getting collectibles. At 28, it's a Firework gadget that lets you shoot fireworks in the air. You can customize the fireworks with different pictures that show up, as well as the color, size, height, and spread. Number 21 lets you condense your resin so you can use them later if you don't have the time or something. 30 is that you can play instruments. 31 and 32 lets you name your wanderer and pet that's in Natlan. For number 33, Genshin probably has a lot more world to explore. I didn't measure it personally compared to WoWa, but it's probably bigger. 34 is you can dive and swim under the water, only in Fontaine however. At 35, Traveler has 6 forms compared to Rover's 2. Let's just not discuss the usefulness of Traveler's forms that aren't Dendro. Number 36, Genshin has a lot more dishes than WoWa. At 37 and 38, Genshin has 94 characters compared to WoWa's 27, and there are 7 elements in Genshin compared to the other 6. For number 39, Genshin probably has more quests than WoWa. Again, didn't find the exact numbers for myself. Number 40, Genshin has 36 5-star artifacts while WoWa has 14 Sonatas. 41, Genshin has more achievements than WoWa, probably. At 42, 43, and 44, Genshin has 204 weapons compared to WoWa's 83, as well as 35 world bosses not including the Dangerous Wolf boss, and there are 11 weekly bosses which includes Dangerous, while Wuthering Wave has 13 world bosses and 5 weekly bosses. Number 45 gives you 10 choices of weapons to choose from in the paid battle pass instead of 5. 46 also gives you way more choices for craftable weapons in Genshin Impact. Number 47 has it so that you can do hangout quests with 4-star characters. 48 is that Genshin has 51 character quests compared to WoWa's 9. At number 49, there are 16 character skins compared to WoWa's 2. And finally, number 50. Genshin came out almost 4 years earlier, so you had a ton of time to think about quitting Genshin or sticking with it, to be honest. And that's it for the list. Yeah, most of the things here is just fluff, and the other half is stuff that I don't think any human being has ever used before, like the Sea Dispensary. Obviously, Genshin has a ton more content available for you because it's been out for almost 5 years, and Wuthering Waves has been out for less than 1. However, I believe you're gonna start playing either Genshin or Wuthering Waves, and you only have time for one of these games, then I would say WoWa because you'd probably get a better first time experience with all its quality of life compared to Genshin. Okay, bye bye.